Okay, so here's a case of a 69-year-old male who was involved in an auto accident. This is a patient of mine actually that has had the accident about 2 months ago, and I've known him a long time, so it was kind of neat to be able to see or compare the new findings with the old. But one thing that I noticed right away was that his posture had changed. He was more camptocormic than I had seen him before. He's kind of had that slight tendency of having that flexor dominance, but this was worse. And his attitude had changed some. He was more tired. He just wasn't as happy as he once was. Some of the other findings are really his main complaints were neck pain and lower back pain. But come to find out about 2 months after the accident, he had refrained from telling me that he had very loose stool. I mean, it was really problematic. And so most likely what happened is that in this car accident, he was rear-ended and had a mild traumatic brain injury. And even though his complaints were primarily musculoskeletal, like many chiropractic cases, there is a central concomitant as well. And I even sort of brushed that off in the beginning because this is someone I knew a long time, and I felt like, well, this is an obvious neck and back pain case, and I was wrong to think that way. So this is what I found on him neurologically, and also I'm going to go to this study here that you're seeing because I think it relates very well to our chiropractic cases and helping understanding why it's important to look at the central mechanisms as well as postural or mechanical. So a very prominent finding in his exam was a slow vertical upward glissade. So instead of being able to basically look at a target here and move the eyes all the way up to here, what would happen is he would make a saccade that would end short and just kind of slide into the final target. And they were very slow. I didn't need to use any type of diagnostic tools. This was very obvious at bedside. And his sway is also an A to P sway. He was swaying front to back, really mostly front first and then back. And that's often seen when a patient has a perceived center of pressure that is behind them. They will basically pitch themselves forward, and then as a compensation, will come backwards, and they'll have this A to P sway. And that's what's going on with this patient. So just for a second here, think of having that constant movement forward and back. You must have some muscular contractions that are constantly kind of fighting each other, trying to maintain that balance, and that generates pain as well. And so that's going on. But let me just read this real quick here. This is a really great article that was posted by one of our colleagues on our forum. The sensory inputs involved in posture control include visual and vestibular inputs, as well as proprioceptive and tactile somatosensory inputs. So in other words, we rely on the visual system, the vestibular system, the proprioceptive and somatosensory system in order to have good posture. These are the primary systems involved. And when input changes from any of those systems, it changes posture. Okay? That's the bottom line here. So what's happening here with my patient is that as you look at this diagram here, you'll see that all these muscles that are lit up in red, those are all very tight on him. They're very tight. I mean, he's asking me to just loosen them up, massage them, and obviously something's changed centrally to affect this posture. So let me show you really the change here posturally is he went from really more of an upright position to basically what you see over here near the end there. Okay? So what I did with him, initially I actually used a downward optokinetic stimulation with really very little change. I mean, his glissades didn't improve. I mean, they were maybe a little bit faster, but that's that's really about it. What really made a big difference for him in order to restore that vertical saccade was an upward pursuit, just like this. So this upward pursuit, the saccadic mechanism is impaired. So sometimes, you know, an optokinetic can help because it's reflexogenic, and sometimes it doesn't. So it didn't work for him, so I used this upward pursuit. And what happened is, really immediately, I saw him 2 days after he started this, and he said, ever since doing this, he has been able to go to the bathroom and have normal stools, and it's made an immediate difference. Another thing that I did with him, along with this vertical pursuit, was really only one other thing, and that is to do infinities with one leg at a time. So we do 10 infinities on the right, 10 on the left, right, left, 3 sets of 10, bilateral, legs only. Legs are midline structures, bowels are midline structures, the eyes are midline structures. So really, we're really reinforcing that midline connection there. His posture improved, and we saw some improvement with his pain level and his energy level. All of that happened immediately. I mean, I saw him 2 days later, and he was like a different person. Consider that vertical eye movements really activate the midbrain, and that is also where the periaqueductal gray is located, so there may be a relationship there in his pain decline. But I really feel like improving his balance and his posture also allowed for the muscles that were kind of fighting that new position and that constant A to P sway to relax. And once they could relax, his pain level came down. So I hope you found this useful, and we'll keep on posting them.